Well, could they be counting their elephants before they hatch? Some Republicans are worried the grand old party is seeming too confident ahead of November and worry that that could turn voters off. House Leader John Boehner said, I think it's all a bit premature. We've got a lot of work to do in order to earn the majority back. And it is time to let the Willis watchdogs out. Ellis Hennecan is a columnist at Newsday and a Fox News contributor. Noel Nikpour is a Republican strategist in Little Rock. And Clint David is the founder and managing shareholder of David Goodman and Madole. Noel, let's start with you. What do you think of this story?
No, I don't think we're overconfident or not. I mean, there is a difference, Jerry, between cocky and confident. And I think that the GOP has a lot to be confident about. Look at the numbers. Look at my state alone. Look at Bozeman versus Lincoln. Double-digit lead for Bozeman. We can be a little confident on that. I mean, look at Pennsylvania. Look at Toomey, Sustak. Look at Angle. Look at Reed. I mean, we have a lot to be very confident about. And as a fundraiser, confidence raises money.
All right. Ellis, cocky or confident?
Listen, I think Noel ought to be more cocky, more confident. You know what? Just keep going. I'm sure you guys have it completely in the bag. You don't have to worry about campaigning or raising money or anything. I think you're being a wimp. I think you need to be a little more cocky.
All right, Clint. Right. Clint, make some sense of this. This is a bunch of political people talking. You know, they have their agendas. What do you think?
You know, I don't think that Republicans can be confident enough. I mean, their confidence bordering on arrogance is only matched by Democrats freaking out, running naked through the streets. I think that the Republicans are going to have to work overtime to choke this lead. But can you say Tea Party?
Can you say Tea Party? Alice, are you running naked through the street? I just have to ask you. Because you're standing right here.
You know what? Right in the next break. Right in the next break.
They keep supporting the Christine O'Donnells of the political world, and you just never know what might happen.
Hey, don't ever underestimate Christine O'Donnell. I mean, look, she surprised us, and she could surprise us again. So never say never. And that girl's got a lot of gumption, and she's got a lot of support.
All right, we're going to move on to the next story now. More concerns about the hidden or at least unintentional, that is, consequences of health care reform. The Washington Post says drug companies may steeply increase its price to offset the requirement prices be slashed next year by 50% to cover Medicare. Clint, come on. They're playing games with us, aren't they?
Listen, of course, look, I just completely glaze over when it comes to health care legislation.
You can't do that. You can't afford to do that. That's one of the most important pieces of legislation out there. You've got to figure out what's going on.
That's true, but the legislatures that approved it didn't read the thing either.
Well, it's true, but that's no excuse for us not to.
Well, look, I mean, I'm pleased that the so-called donut hole is being filled. I'm pleased that they're getting this through discounts on prescription drugs. But the fact of the matter is the drug companies supported this legislation, so they're going to make out like bandits in the end. I don't get real warm and fuzzy over this, quite honestly.
Noel?
Well, they're going to pass this down to us. I mean, think about it. They're going to be selling this at 50%, and somebody's going to pay for it. It's just like when you buy something at discount, somebody else is going to pay for that discount. It's not a freebie.
It's not a freebie, Alice.
Well, no, and I love the evil corporate drug company narrative here. But listen, I know the truth. Public sector or private sector, there's only one health reform plan that's going to work. Don't get sick. None of the others are going to do you any good at all.
Oh, run naked through the streets and don't get sick. It's a tough challenge.
Yeah, that's why it takes a professional.
All right, let's move on. Rumors abound across Washington and Chicago that White House Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel may be heading back home to run for mayor. So, one woman has purchased numerous domains, we're talking about website addresses here, including EmanuelForMayor.com, and will likely sell it to Emanuel for a price. Ellis, capitalism abounds.
It is, and I wish that person who had Ellis as a genius would let it to me for a decent price. I don't know. That's just wrong. Stop that.
Clint, what do you say, buddy?
I say it's great that the big hustler got out-hustled. I'm very pleased to see that. He needs to hire her for his campaign. Unfortunately, because of Rahm, she's going to pay a higher capital gains tax when she sells that domain name.
Noel?
You know, think about it. At first she said that she got it and she was going to sell it and make some cash. All of a sudden, she says that she supports Rahm and she would gift it back to Rahm. I'm just wondering, did she open her door and see a baseball bat out there? I'm just saying.
Yeah, that is Chicago politics.
We have no reason to think that. All right, let's move on to what is, a critically important story to Western civilization as we know it. A 71-year-old man used his Swiffer dustbuster to prod an intruder from his home. Clint.
Yes.
Did you like this story? This made me feel good all over.
It's a wonderful story. Look, this is serious business. We are Willis watchdogs. The fact of the matter is, this man decided to mop up on crime. He is cleaning out the bad guys. That's the way to do it. The fact this guy didn't get shot, he needs to thank his lucky stars.
Well, that's true. Ellis?
Yeah, but he needs to read those instructions on the Swift. It's not so good with blood.
Oh,
it's not recommended. It's really not.
That's rough.
Noel?
Well, think about it. Who needs a mop, a bucket, and a gun when you can just get a Swiffer wet jet and clean your house and protect your family at the same time?
The Second Amendment applies, definitely.
All right. We have one more story here. A federal inmate in Lexington, Kentucky has filed more than 3,800 lawsuits, suing anyone he could think of, including the Guinness Book of World Records for not giving him the record of the most number of lawsuits. Now, federal officials are suing him back to stop him. Noel, it never stops.
No, it never stops. I'd just like to know, how much time does a prisoner have on his hands to be filing lawsuits?
A lot.
Anyway, I guess he wants to make the Guinness Book of World Records.
Ellis, I turn to you. How much time does a prisoner have on his hands?
You know, give him shorter sentences. This wouldn't be as much of a problem, I guess.
Clint?
Listen, I want to hire this guy. I mean, he is my kind of litigator. The Patrick Ewing of suing. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I don't know what you do. Maybe you break his hand. Maybe you give him a pen with invisible ink. I'm not sure how you stop it, but there are people like this that abuse the process. You see it all the time. The court's going to appoint somebody to monitor these lawsuits and avoid frivolous litigation.
Jury of your peers. Who would it be, a mathematician? I mean, I don't know who they're going to get.
It's tough. All right. Thanks, Ellis, Noel, and Clint. Appreciate your time today.